Okay, this will be an interesting one. If I can make it look good. I wonder how good this one will look. Gonna make it that size. Gonna make text enhance for this. Contrast up. Copy density lighter, just a little bit. Alright, let's see what we've got. We've got here an interesting one. It is, yeah, the story of modern pop. Interesting. I think of the Beatles when I hear the words yeah, and she loves you, yeah. Sorry about the singing, folks, but you just get my drift. But yeah, it's a very big thing, pop music. So yeah, let's see how this one turns out. This dock feeder doesn't open as far as... Oh, it probably opened further than I had it down. Silly me. Maybe. Whoa, that looks interesting. It looks a bit too yellow. I would have liked a bit less yellow. It's one time when I like yellow to be a little bit less is there, so... maybe the background removal could be employed for this, because that's obviously background. It's got a lot of, it's a bit yellowish, it's a bit yellowed as you can see, so we'll just try and put that there again and try and move it around. So we'll just move up, yeah, that's as far as it'll go. So yeah, sorry about the joke, I didn't mean it to be funny. But let's see if this looks even better with the background removal in play. Yeah, sorry about that, folks, for saying that. But that looks a lot more interesting. It's still got some yellow, but it's a lot better. So I'm wondering if we're going to make this our piece. So we're going to make... So this should look good, folks. Try and make sure we're just going to move this. Just going to play with the buttons. So I'm wondering if we're going to do another one, or we're going to keep it at that, because that does look quite interesting. This is a little bit chunky, this book. So we're just going to... I think I like it. So we're just going to go 100%. We're going to make this... we're going to go 104 by 104. But it's an interesting piece. Rock and pop is such a big industry. Even in this day and age, it's a big, I don't know, multi-billion, maybe, dollar industry. A lot of the time the quality of the music has sort of gone downhill a little bit. Most of the music I don't really like in this day and age. I don't really appreciate a lot of the shit that they have nowadays. It's just a little bit too boring. I just don't like the style. I think it's the style of the music. It just doesn't sound... Even though I'm into electronic music, I find that even the electronic music of today just doesn't have a certain factor, a wow factor. You know, there's nothing exciting about it. It doesn't sound like something that I would ordinarily like to buy. it's very boring. For some reason, it's really dull and fucking boring. It's not, it just doesn't have any real taste, I don't think. I don't like today's musical style. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna just leave it at that. But yeah, I just don't like the way it is. It doesn't sound like my taste. It's got too much of an exotic sort of twisted sort of sound to it. If I could describe some of what what I feel is wrong with the music, it just doesn't have that. It's not like any group that we had in the 90s and even the 2000s. In the 2000s we had like Daft Punk, which really had a really groovy sort of sound and feel, very electronic, but it was something that I actually liked. But since 2000 and even 2011 and 2000 and even 2012, there was some feeling in it. Like you had in 2011, you had I can't think of a band off the top of my head, but basically back in the days, back in 2011, 2000, I think 2012 had Gangnam Style, but basically 2013 was when things just sounded shit. And since 2013, we've had some hits, I think, but last year and this year we haven't had anything really notable, and I'm really disappointed with the way it's become. I'm hoping that it'll bounce back like it almost always does. Even the early 90s was shit, but then we had 1991, 92 when the music really started to crank. But basically we haven't had that happening yet for this nasty hiatus in taste. Well, my taste anyway. I just don't like the shit they got today. Shit, in my opinion anyway. Everyone's different, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but for my intents, it's not my cup of tea. The shit we have today is not my cup of tea. Anyway, that looks really quite nice. I think now we could call this demo quits.